Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10. Additionally, from December 12th, 2019 through January 27th, 2020, if you use this promo code, you will automatically be entered into a drawing to win a Theros Beyond Death Draft Booster Box. Also, there is another way to enter where no purchase is necessary. See the link in the description below for full details. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to this special edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. Theros Beyond Death officially launches on Friday. However, we are already seeing some pretty significant price movements, both up and down for a number of these cards, and that's what we're here to talk about today. There's a lot of cards already in circulation with the pre-release events and the early buy a box promotion, so you are already seeing some price shifts. Before we get started though, just a quick reminder, if you go over to FlipsideGaming.com, you can use that Heroes promo code. Save yourself 10% on orders over $10, and they do have Theros Beyond Death singles up on the site. So if you're looking for some cards, check it out. You might be able to save a little cash, and whenever you use that promo code, it does support the channel, which is always appreciated. So thank you, and without any further ado, let's get into it. Before we get into the cards from the set proper that are moving up and down, I did want to show you the buy a box promo because it is shifting down dramatically, and that's because there's a lot of copies getting out there. This is Athreos Shroud Veil, down 650 to 950. Can be a decent commander card. I have seen some people already playing with this, actually. Okay, on to the top 10 Theros Beyond Death cards that have lost value this week. So for this video, we're not going to be talking about specialty variations. We'll be looking at the regular variations of cards. The specialty variants are still trying to find their price points. Number 10 is Calyx, Destiny's Hand, down to $1.71 to $5.34. So Planeswalkers a lot of times are a little bit inflated during the pre-release time period. You have a lot of cross-appeal casual players. Many times they're pushed, so competitive players will also want them. This one in particular was kind of interesting because it could fit into some commander builds, sure. But when it comes to like your standard players, there wasn't a lot of buzz or excitement around this card. Now, early brews, it hasn't done a whole lot. There is a Selesny enchantment deck that I have seen, usually running just one copy of this though. So I do think this could at least lose a little more value before it stabilizes. Number 9 is our first god on this list today. It is Klothys, God of Destiny, down $1.71 to $9.76. This is another card that I think a lot of commander players could be interested in, and it has seen some standard play early on in a Gruul aggro build. We'll have to kind of see if it can get there. If that deck can become one of the bigger decks, at least early on in the season, this might stabilize quickly, even go up a little bit. If that doesn't happen, it will continue to go down. Number 8 is Idyllic Tutor. This goes down $1.97 to $4.77. This, of course, being a reprint from a card that was in Morningtide. That was a very sought-after commander card. So commander players now are getting a hold of this card. And as that demand is starting to be satisfied, the value is already going down. We'll have to see if it does anything in standard this season. It has a chance, of course, but so far I haven't seen a lot of early brews running this. Number 7 is Kroxa, Titan of Death's Hunger, down $2.05 to $9.34. Little surprised to see this mythic dipping as quickly as it is because it is showing up in a lot of early brews. I've seen this in Rakdos Sacrifice, Grixis Control, and Grixis Fires. Number 6, Dryad of the Elysian Grove, down $2.24 to $11.51. Couple of reasons for this. The main reason is this is a rare, not a mythic, and it had a very high price point going into the launch window. As packs are open, rares are going to populate the marketplace quicker than mythics are. That demand is going to be satisfied a little bit faster. So it's not too surprising to see this card go down quite a bit this week. For starters, it's a solid commander card. Now, when it comes to standard play so far, I haven't seen this thing actually take off in a lot of the big decks that feel like they're going to be the more competitive ones early on. People are trying it out, people are playing with it, and the raw power is there. So I do think it will find a home. It's just a little slow right now to find that home, and because of that, it is especially soft. So we'll have to keep an eye on this one going forward. I do think it's going to go down some more. But if it does see at least a fair amount of standard play, I do think it could stabilize somewhere between the $5 and $8 mark, just depending on how much play it does see. Number 5 is Polukranos Unchained, down $2.42 to $6.53. So this is a mythic that, again, early brews, I've seen it kicking around, but the ones that are performing the best at this point, haven't really seen it show up in any of those. Because of that, the card is a little bit soft, but again, it is still very early. Number 4 is Nyx Bloom Ancient, down $2.67 to $15.98. Another card that you don't see showing up in a lot of the big standard builds yet. And not too surprising considering the 7 casting cost. And then you have to have something to do with the mana. It doesn't necessarily feel like it's going to be a big standard card this season or anything like that. But it is a big commander card. And as copies are getting out there, commander players are starting to get a hold of them. and you're already seeing a little bit of price settling. So I do think this will continue to go down, but this is going to be a sought-after commander card for a while. Number 3 is Purphoros Bronze Blooded, down 270 to 712. This is one of the gods, maybe had a tad bit of a high price point during the pre-release time period, and I think that's why it's going down now. It is seeing early standard play and does have potential, especially the Rakdos Fire's Reanimation deck. Maybe could be one of the top tier, or at least one of the more exciting decks early in the season. If that's the case, this would stabilize quickly, maybe even start to go up again. But if that deck doesn't quite get there, then this could lose some more value. Number 2, Helios Uncrowned, another god here, down $4.43 to $23. So obviously this is going down mostly because it had an extremely high price point during the pre-release season, which was due to the fact that a lot of people were interested to see if the Pioneer combo of this and Walking Ballista can get there. Well, the jury is still out on that if somebody can go ahead and make that consistent enough. However, this is seeing some standard play in the meantime. You're going to find this in Mono White Devotion builds, including a life gain variation. You're going to find this in Selesnya enchantments as well. So I do think this is going to see standard play and probably hold a pretty decent price during the course of this season. Ultimately, though, Pioneer is going to play a big role in what the value of this card will be a few weeks down the road. Number 1 is Nyx Lotus, down $4.67 to $6.58. Now, this one is a rare, maybe had a little bit of a high price point. Copies are getting opened and quickly starting to satisfy demand. But I'm a little surprised this one is losing as much value as it is losing already. Simply because, first off, it's a good commander card. I think a lot of commander players will want to pick this up. But secondly, this is seeing some early standard play. There's a mono blue devotion deck out there called Blue Lotus running 4 copies of this. Basically, it runs this, Thassa's Oracle. It's an interesting brew. Maybe you can do something this season. All right, on to the top 11 Theros Beyond Death cards that have gained value this week. I went with 11 because there was a tie at number 10. So here we go. Number 11, Caliphate, Beloved of the Sea, goes up 46 cents to $1.22. Not a huge increase, but notice this is an uncommon, so that kind of changes things a little bit. Definitely, if you see an uncommon jumping like this, something is going on. And that something is, mono blue devotion decks have looked really good right out of the gate. So we're going to have to see what happens as time goes on. Obviously, we're a long way to go before the meta is solidified. But at least early on, a lot of players are moving towards these mono blue devotion builds. And this is one of the cards you're going to find there. Number 10, Thassa's Intervention, goes up 46 cents to $2.18. This is a rare going up in value. And I'll tell you right now, Azorius Control looks like it's going to have a pretty good season. A lot better than it has done recently in Standard. Also, I've seen other control variations running this, like Reclamation Control. Number 9, Kiora Best the Sea God. This goes up 61 cents to $4.23. And this one's a mythic. I think mostly because it had a pretty low price point for a mythic going into the launch weekend. And I don't know if this is going to see a whole lot of standard play or anything like that. But it is a pretty interesting commander card to use as a finisher, perhaps. Number 8 is Timuret, Chosen from Death. It goes up 73 cents to $1.56. Another uncommon on the rise, and another card that you're going to find in devotion builds, this time Mono Black Devotion. So I mentioned Mono Blue was looking good. Well, Mono Black's looking really good too, which maybe isn't surprising a lot of people. Just having Gary in the format is going to push that deck definitely. So we'll have to see how these pan out and which variation of the Mono Black Devotion deck does the best. But I have no doubt this will be seeing some standard play. Number 7 is Ox of Agonis. This goes up $1.01 to $9.01. I think you have a situation here again where there was a mythic rare that was maybe a little undervalued going into the release window. And ultimately, I do think this could see some standard play and some kind of aggressive build, maybe with a lot of burn spells and light up the stage to back it up. Being able to see more cards when you run out of gas and also having a persistent threat feels like it could be pretty good. Number 6, Konoros, Hound of Athreos. This goes up $1.04 to $3.08. I've actually already seen this show up in main decks and some builds of Esper Hero, so that's definitely a possibility for this card. But I do think, if nothing else, you will see this come out of sideboards at times to deal with some of the graveyard shenanigans that are coming. Number 5, Thassa's Oracle, goes up $1.32 to $3.83. I'm a little surprised this had such a low price point going into this week, and I do think this is going to go up more. Commander players have been extremely interested in this card. We've seen a lot of cards that play well with this already going up in value in last Saturday's Market Watch. Actually, the week before that was going on too after the card was previewed. So I think maybe this price point was a little light going into the weekend. We'll have to see what happens. Beyond Commander, like I said earlier, this is also seeing standard play in Blue Lotus, also an Underworld Breach combo. Number 4 is Citizen Champion, up $1.77 to $3.41. Another card that is seeing some early play. I've seen this in Golgari Enchantment creature builds, as well as Selesnya enchantments. Number 3, Dream Trawler, up $2.21 to $3.80. I mentioned earlier that Azore's Control is probably going to have a pretty good season. This might be the main reason for it. This card looks amazing there. Also showing up in other builds too, like Esper Hero and Esper Control, for example. Number 2 is Nightmare Shepherd, up 227 to 571. This has a pretty big jump considering this is a rare this week, but there's good reason for it. Early on, the card looks incredible. This has already shown up in Rakdos Sacrifice as well as decks like Mono Black Devotion. Number 1, who else could it be? Ashiok Nightmare Muse. This goes up 836 to 1998. Wow. So it is a mythic. So partially this is due to the fact that it's going to take a little more time for mythics to get out there into the marketplace. But of course, that's not the whole story here when you look at this price jump. This card has raw power behind it. It's looking good in a lot of different builds right now. Esper Hero, Sultai Midrange, Grixis Fires, Esper Control, just to name a few. This is the card you're going to be seeing a lot of this season. Alright, that does it for our Market Watch. Later in the week, I'm going to try to get a hold of a bundle to open on the channel. Those are always fun. And then on Saturday, we're going to do our regular episode of the Market Watch as we do every Saturday. So we'll be looking at all aspects of the secondary market outside of Theros Beyond Death, which we looked at today. Until next time, though, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page, as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.